So the six apprentices of Rushu, the Master of Masters, are all mysterious characters. But one of the most mysterious characters to me is actually Ava. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Ava today and talk about how she may be the Master of Masters, yes, you heard me clearly, the Master of Masters, is because Ava has a lot of things that most of the foretellers haven't really shown the ability to really do. And it could just be that maybe Ava was trusted with this kind of power from the Master of Masters, seeing as, of course, she's the one with the most purest of heart. She's the only one not being corrupted by all of the darkness surrounding Daybreak Town as we know of just yet. She could always witness some of her union members pretty much get struck down by another foreteller, and that could lead her into joining 100% into the Keyblade War. Because we know that all of these lost masters are supposed to fight in the Keyblade War, and Ava has already chosen the Dandelions, who are supposed to be characters from, I guess, the multiple unions that are going to be skipping the Keyblade War by going into this realm called the Unchained Realm, which is something we're going to get in a bit. So let's go ahead and talk about why Ava has always really been a mysterious character to me. So Ava has the power of illusion. The power of illusion. And the reason why this is something that's important for this theory is that what if the Master of Masters switched Ava's real body with his own appearance, and of course switch his own appearance with the appearance of Ava? And why this would make sense is because, of course, we know that the Master of Masters mysteriously disappeared. So let's say, for the sake of speculation, Luxu is the reason why the Master of Masters disappeared. And if the Master of Masters disappeared because of Luxu, so let's say he banished him of sorts, or anything like that, or he pretty much just kidnapped him, then we know that the Master of Masters should be able to overpower any of his students. Let's take a quick look once again at the Tome of Prophecies and the heart presented in the back cover trailer. We get to see both in both instances and on both objects that pretty much the sigil that covers these two things or these two objects have the X blade on it. And this X blade is supposed to take place of them pretty much revealing what either Rushu looks like, or of course what Rushu's actual, of course, I guess you could say, you know how the rest of the foretellers are represented by animals. I guess you could say whatever animal that Rushu is actually being projected as, which I'm gonna guess and say is probably a lion, seen as, of course, king of the jungle and shit like that, seen as the rest of them are animals as well. So you would guess that maybe he has an animal as well that he identifies with. So if Rushu is actually in possession of the X-Blade, he should be far stronger than all of his apprentices, man. Like, Luxu shouldn't be able to take this dude or pretty much kidnap this dude or banish this dude. In fact, he's the one that has given them all of their power. So if he's given them all of their power, which includes their Keyblades, once again, mate, can't he just take the power from them? So that wouldn't make sense in my opinion, but we actually need to look at Luxu's own plans as well, so let's get into those. So we know that Luxu's plans derive, or he says they derive, from the Master of Masters' plans. And the Master of Masters, and the reason why I feel like this just is a bunch of bullshit that he's making up for the sake of pretty much trying to make himself feel righteous, in the sense that, of course, he feels like he's doing the right thing or what he's doing is above the foretellers, seeing as he wasn't chosen. It would make sense that he hates the foretellers for the fact that they were chosen, and it's highly likely, once again, that he is the first apprentice, seeing as his Keyblade is the most ancient, and if the Master of Masters created the first six Keyblades, and his is the most ancient, he would have had to have bestowed the first Keyblade ever to our boy Luxu. So if our boy Luxu has possession over the most ancient Keyblade, it would make sense he was probably the original apprentice. So when people that came, or the characters or the foretellers which came after him, were chosen to be the foretellers and he wasn't, you would think that he would have a negative emotion about this. He would be upset about this. And the reason why the Master of Masters probably gave his tomes to the foretellers was so that that way all of this would make sense to them, in a sense that, of course, I'm giving you my tomes, boom, he vanishes out of nowhere, they don't know where the hell he went, and then of course Luxu vanishes as well sometime later. Now he vanishes sometime later probably because he was trying to take the heat off his back, seeing as, of course, vanishing would make it more plausible that he didn't have anything to do with the original disappearance of Rushu himself, or the Master of Masters himself. And this all would make sense to a degree, but this is all still speculation, so don't forget to take it with a grain of salt. But let's go ahead and hop back to Ava. So Ava has the power of illusion, and she also has access to the power or to send characters to the Unchained Realm. The Unchained Realm is supposed to be a dimension that has some type of time loop to where characters go and they can live out the events of, I guess, either their own lifetimes or probably the lifetime of the character that actually banished or sent them there. So if Ava sent, of course, Ephemera, which she actually did, to the Unchained Dimension, we still don't know of any other foretellers that can actually do this. So if I am wrong, let me know if I'm wrong and other foretellers can do this. But to my knowledge, I don't think any of the other foretellers have powers like this. The power of illusion, the power over the realm of Unchained. It doesn't make sense. Where is she getting this power from? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, if she's running around with this kind of power, why haven't the rest of the foretellers just used their mysterious powers as well? Why haven't they used, like, such as Aced? Why hasn't Aced used the powers such as, of course, to wipe out whole unions? Like, he seems to be the brute of the group, right? And if he can one shot the player who's supposed to be probably the strongest non-foreteller character outside of Ephemera and Scold to possess a Keyblade in Daybreak Town, if he can one shot us, then you would think that obviously Aced should have some type of special powers as well. So if Aced has some type of special powers, then of course, why don't they use these powers? It doesn't make sense. I mean, we don't get to see them enough already, and this is probably why back cover is gonna give the perspective of the foretellers for these events, but we don't get to see them enough already, man. But Ava is the only one that's being shown to have like these ridiculous abilities. So with keeping that in mind, let me go ahead and get into the full speculation of why I think Ava is the master of masters. So now that you guys know everything about why I feel like Ava is the master of masters, it's time to talk about how this could have actually happened. So if Ava has the power of illusion, and let's say for the sake of speculation she is the master of masters, he switches his appearance with Ava's and Ava's appearance with himself. So he takes on Ava's appearance. Luxu pretty much kidnaps Ava, who should be weaker than him. So if he kidnaps Ava and take her and banishes her somewhere, then he think that he's banished the master of masters. He steals the lost page, or maybe that's why he steals the lost page. Maybe Ava walks in on him, or maybe Ava as the master of masters walks in on him and he banishes the Master of Masters to his knowledge. So if he banishes the Master of Masters to his knowledge, he now has to disappear with the lost page to make up for time, or to pretty much give the foretellers this time to find this out themselves and really think that this traitor is someone amongst themselves. You see what I'm saying? That's starting to make sense, right? So if he leaves that much time, but of course Ava, or the foreteller Ava that we get to see in Unchained Key and in Key itself, is actually the Master of Masters, then this would explain one, how Ava is the only one to ever find Luxu, why Ava is questioning his plans, and also why Ava hasn't really fought anyone just yet besides us, when she pretty much talks about how, I mean, not when she talks about, but when she pretty much challenges us as an illusion, which is how we learned she had the power of illusion. So when you think about Ava's whole purpose and what her whole goal is to pretty much bring peace back to the unions and back to the foretellers, you would think that, of course, she's the only character trying to hold these characters together. And that wouldn't make sense, seeing as, of course, Luxu's plan obviously doesn't seem like it should have any type of flaws into it, seen as the Tome of Prophecies is where his plan apparently comes from with the secret page. Now we also know that the Master of Masters was struck down during the Keyblade War. Now this isn't explicitly stated, this isn't a fact, this is still speculation, but it's speculation with a lot of evidence, and this evidence comes from the know-it-all himself, Xehanort. The Keyblade was destroyed on the Keyblade Graveyard. Now if Luxu is supposed to be carrying the true plans of the Master of Masters, why would the Master of Masters participate in the Keyblade War? It doesn't make sense, because obviously it seems like Luxu survived. He freaking survived. He pretty much became, the person that he said he was going to become. And if he became the person that he said he was going to become, and his Keyblade seems to be lifeless in the E3 2015 trailer, did Rushu probably take the power of the Keyblade away from him? Can he no longer wield Keyblades? And maybe this is why, of course, he puts his Keyblade on display, or his apprentices that actually teach Xehanort and Ericus the ways of the Keyblade. Maybe they've actually, of course, put the Keyblade up on display. So who knows, man? I feel like Ava is a character that holds the most secrets out of all of the Foretellers. And I'm saying this because, of course, Ava is the only one that's really fighting for peace. She's the only one who really just wants her union not to participate at all. E3 2016 back coverage section of the trailer. What did she say? When the war starts, she wants her union members to leave, do not participate in this war. She doesn't want it to happen. So you would think that maybe Ava is, the Master of Masters is filling in for Ava, and Ava probably knows this as well, seeing as, of course, Ava has all of these abilities that the rest of the foretellers don't seem to actually possess. And if she has power over, of course, a whole realm, you would think that maybe she is the Master of Masters, because the Master of Masters, and if he does possess the X-Blade, he should have power over the realms. And if he has power over the realms, then you would think the Unchained realm would be connected to these realms as well, because he possesses the greatest blade of them all, the X-Blade. So let me know what you guys think about this, man. This has been your boy Mazia. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class. Don't forget to check out my gaming channel. A link will be in the description, because we're going to be starting Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep as we play through pretty much the whole Kingdom Hearts series in chronological order before 2.8 releases. That's going to be coming in August, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and check my gaming channel out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace the heck out. Alright guys, so it's time for our first Ventus boss. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, so here we go. His is a lot more well structured than, of course, Terra's first boss, which you guys remember, that motherfucker was driving me insane. So let's go ahead and move, even though he does jump as well, and he has poison. Move! Whoa! No! Bitch! I didn't even set up what's his face. Oh man. Oh man, no. No, I hate this shit. I hate this shit. Alright guys, so it's time for our first Ventus boss. Let's see what we can do here. Alright, so here we go. His is a lot more well structured than, of course, Terra's first boss, which you guys remember, that motherfucker was driving me insane. So let's go ahead and move, even though he does jump as well, and he has poison. Move! Whoa! No. Bitch! I didn't even set up what's his face. Oh man. Oh man, no. No, I hate this shit. I hate this shit. Alright. Slide and dash. Hit him with that arrow. No. Strike raid. Move. Ooh, no. No, I didn't get the move. Alright, let's just dodge him real quick. Dodge, dodge. Fire. Run up. Finisher.